Hey guys, welcome back to season 1 of Dragonflight. This is the first week of the season and it's the fourth week, and I've been having a lot of fun pushing keys. Not pushing, like just doing high, keys as high as I can go, and most of the dungeons I haven't done before. The new dungeons from previous expansions, I haven't done them at all, so it's a very fun learning experience for me. So as usual, I'm playing my prot warrior. This is a 13 cost, and let's get into it. So the opening pull, it's a 2-pack pull. These champions hurt pretty badly, so you'll see me running shield wall at the start of the pull just so that I can stabilize and get my defensives and rage going. But after that, should be pretty good. We're playing with the affixes are raging, quaking, and of course thundering. Quaking, it's a bit annoying, particularly in this key because we have a demon hunter. Every time he charges in, and most likely there's gonna be quaking going on. So I got clapped by his quaking quite often, but it's okay. I'd say raging, for the most part, it's a more dangerous affix, especially on the fourth week, and especially for the first week where not everybody has a lot of good gear, and so you can the raging can definitely catch you by surprise. And one of the things this week is evokers actually can talent into a AoE soothe. I think it's they can choose between that and rescue, but other than that, we don't have any source of soothe from other players. This week, rogue, hunter, and especially druid has a lot of value in your keys, I'd say. So the first boss, Hamdal, it's pretty straightforward. When he casts Horns of Winter, Horns of Valor, you'll see those dragons coming across the map. There'll be 3 dragons, and you want to avoid the first dragon, and then immediately go into where the dragon was, so that you can avoid the other two dragons. And as long as you follow into that rhythm, then you'll be good. And then just dodge spinning swords. And he puts a bleed on you. It's not too bad. It's probably pretty bad in tyrannical week though. Alright, let's see the first dragon. Alright, immediately after it's gone, move into the Alright. This fight looks more chaotic than it actually is. And Hamdal ends at 5%. He doesn't actually die, so a bit less of a execute phase. Alright, so you can see the dragons up there. Get ready to move in. Oh, I guess we ended the fight early. So on this pack, you want to avoid the Sentinel because the Sentinel has an aura that makes other mobs around him immune to CC and interrupts. It's like inspiring, right? And the Sentinel has a lot of health pull, so avoid them as much as you can because they're not efficient and they make other mobs painful. Other than that, it's pretty It's a pretty underwhelming pack. I'm running a base version of Shockwave just because we have our main CC source is either the Demon Hunter or the Warlock, and we don't have as much, and I don't want to rely on those DPS to rely on the DPS to do proper CCs, especially it's Raging Week. So I'm running Shockwave just so that I can have some form of CC to make myself breathe a little bit when the mobs do get down to 30%. That I can see now. Well, now, on this pull he soothed all of them with the Evoker's Sooth, or maybe he didn't. They just weren't low enough. All right, and inside the hall there's a patrol sentinel. You want to pull this back, pull this 3-pack back if you can. But I was having trouble getting that purifier to actually come to me, so I figure, okay, I'll do this 2 mobs first, and we'll deal with that purifier later. And I'm not really sure if this is the pack you want to do right now. Like, I mean, we could just go left and then start working on the packs towards the second boss. So maybe in the future that's more efficient. Alright, now we can try to get the purifier to hit us. Alright, that's good. Alright, we'll wait for the sentinel to get back, and then work on this 3-pack. If you're playing a DPS, you should know that the Shield Maiden has a frontal towards the tank, and you want, that's the only thing you want to avoid whenever you see Shield Maidens in the pool. They also have a armor reduction debuff for the tank, but luckily warriors are less scared of those kind of debuffs than other tanks. You can see the Demon Hunter is just zapping around. It's very annoying. He clipped me with his with the chain lightning dot. And you can definitely see that whenever the mobs get to sub 30% health, it's my health starts to reflect that, and I have a lot of problems sometimes. So yeah, raging is not fun, but you just have to plan accordingly to that. And this week I'm running the two charges of shield wall talent, just so that I can cover myself if I need to, because it's less likely that I need to what am I trying to say? It's less likely that I'll have frequently need to cast shield wall on 2 consecutive pulls, but I might need to cast shield wall twice if it's a super big pull, because I need it when I'm getting started sometimes, but more importantly, I might need it when the mobs are about to die, and when they get to that raging threshold, your health can disappear really quickly. Alright, 2 Shield Maiden and an Aspirant. The Aspirant does a jump, and then there's a frontal. The Shield Maiden has frontals too, so this build is pretty chaotic. So you just gotta watch out where the tanks is currently facing, and because it's gonna change a lot with the Aspirant jumping around. But I'll try to aim her, away from that. You can see that raging breaking armor. That's no joke. And I'm really careful. Seems we got through it okay. And these two mobs is like a preview of what the boss is. Most of the mechanics of the mobs are reflected onto the boss. So the mob on the right, just dodge. It's really simple. Just dodge the little spinning balls. You don't have to do DPS. You don't have to be melee. Just live. And then there's a kick, I guess. Alright. And then on the left side is what he casts. I have this Eye of the Storm. Just get into the circle. Now, on another key that I've done here on the boss. Okay, I should actually explain the boss a little bit. So you see these two mobs. When you're fighting the boss, the boss is going to be empowered by one of these mobs, and the boss will cast the signature ability from whoever she's being empowered by. So if she's on the left side, then she's gonna cast Eye of the Storm, and you do this mechanic. If she's on the other side, then she does the channel and the swirlies, and you have to dodge that. And ideally, you'll want to switch sides every time she does the signature ability. Otherwise, she's gonna get a damage boost on the next cast. But the problem is on the right side, it's a huge DPS loss to have your melee and everyone just dodging the swirlies. So I have done 2 casts on the left side with Lust, just so that we can get more uptime on our DPS. But not here, because we haven't talked about it. That's something you can definitely do if you're in a more coordinated group, especially if you have a good healer that's confident that he's gonna have major cooldowns to compensate for that. But that's definitely a very, very efficient strategy. I think I did it on a 12. It was the healer that actually suggested that. I was like, okay. And then we didn't even get to the third cast on the other side, and she died after the second cast of Eye of the Storm. So I think in hierarchies, especially on non-tyrannical keys, this might be a really, really efficient strategy to go about this boss, especially if you know that you have all the cards to get you through the second cast. And what you just saw is that the boss does a frontal knockback towards the tank every time she finishes cast. You can use that to reposition yourself to the other side. It's just makes it a little faster. Alright, we'll work on the left side and go to work on Fenryr. Fenryr. I love Norse mythology. Alright, you see that ruin on the ground? I think that's either a damage buff or a DR. You can bait that rune and drag your mobs outside of it, and then you can have your teammates standing inside it, just to get benefits. But I don't actually know what it does. I guess I gotta read up on it. I think we ended up pulling extra on this pull. I'm not sure what happened. I guess we'll find out. Okay, I saw someone. Yeah, I just saw someone walk backwards, walk outside. So that might be the reason. I'm not sure, but we ended up pulling the Sentinel, and you can see how that's really annoying because all the cast turns into uninterruptible cast. So I'm just trying really hard to finish off the low health mobs that do have cast, and then the champion and the marksman, I can live that, I think. Take off thundering. All right, now the champion is it's in raging, and I can't CC him, so ooh. I just got myself back into a corner here, but luckily most of the mobs are dead. So I was barely holding on to my life here, and the marksman is actually causing a lot of problems because I don't want to charge into him. If I do that, I'm gonna aggro the other pack, and that's gonna turn into a disaster. So I'm just kiting backwards, hoping that the marksman will get out of the range, and then he just walks forward. And I can say, okay, great. Now I can charge in, and I think as chaotic as it is, we actually saved this pull by a lot. Only have a couple of deaths, and we didn't end up wiping and then having to do the whole pull again. So I think everybody did pretty good. Alright, and I think I made a count mistake here. You need 80% before you go up to do the four kings. So I definitely pulled extra here. We'll see. But the dragon is something you have to do. Actually, I don't know. If there's a way to skip the dragon, I think that's pretty efficient. But I think you're gonna have to do him on the way back anyway. And the raging frontal breath is so scary. If it's a hierarchy, I should have just shield wall instantly. Otherwise, it's gonna one shot me. Like, it brought me down to 20%. Alright, so you're gonna hug right, and you can avoid all the mobs. No, you don't need the hunters. I think I did end up doing the hunters because I forgot we had enough count. Alright, Wolfie boss. This boss is a lot like the first boss in Mechagon Workshop. That he jumps around, and does like a bleed for whoever he's targeting. And then he has a frontal swipe thing. It's either a frontal or a 360 swipe. I'm not sure which, because I saw the DH getting clipped, and then now the warlock is clipped. So maybe it's maybe it's a circle around the boss. I gotta read up on it. And I hate the trees here. But I think in the next area you want to kill all the little wolves, because I think the boss gains a damage percent for each orc that's still alive. I think I'm not entirely sure, but I know we're supposed to kill all the little wolves before we do the boss. And these wolves hurt a lot, like really, really a lot. Alright, good. We got some CC. We got a AoE Sooth going on, so that's pretty good. Ideally, I think in the future I want to combine multiple packs of wolves together, just so that it's a little more efficient. They don't have any mechanics that you need to deal with. It's just raw tankiness. Just, you know, live their bites, I guess, like their attacks. But for now, I think I'll just do one pack at a time. Alright, I know we don't have an AoE Sooth, or even if we do, we don't want to use it on the 2 mobs when there's like a pack of 4 coming up. So I'm just kiting a little bit. And got my shield wall rolling. I can stabilize, and then they're getting to that 30% threshold, so I think I'm... 2 of them just died so fast, so it wasn't too bad. Alright, now the boss. The boss has the same mechanics when we did him the first time, except he summons small adds. You just want to cleave them down. And luckily we have a lot of AoE damage. And this boss, ideally you want to do with Lust, just so that you can, the longer you drag it on, the longer the more pressure you put on your healer. This is a really healing intensive fight, because there's a lot of bleed going on the whole party, and then you have to spot heal the tank sometimes. Yeah, it's definitely a very benchmark boss, I'd say. And speaking of benchmark, I think we have more than enough DPS for this. Our evoker just popping off with that, 60k single target DPS. Not gonna complain. All right, got through with no problem. And here's where I made the mistakes. I think, okay, here. For some reason I thought I need 96% or something, because that was in another dungeon. I think it's Azure Vault or something. I can't remember, but so I ended up I just start pulling stuff I that I didn't need to pull. This pack is like unnecessary. We already have enough count to finish the whole dungeon, and we still have the 2 sentinels at the door. So this is a huge mistake made by me. I mean, we're doing pretty good on time for one chest for timing, but in the future, this isn't something that needs to be pulled. So now I'm just wasting everybody's time here. I'm sorry. Alright, and then there's I couldn't find a way to get back to the platform, so I ended up pulling the little cow, the bull here too. Because I couldn't remember which way I came from. I said, okay, fuck it. I'll just pull it. Got a lot of the speed boost though. Alright, so we got 2 mobs, and then we can start dealing with the last part of the dungeon. It's 2 sentinels. 2 sentinels isn't actually as scary as 1 sentinel and other stuff, because I got clipped by the DH again. I'm like, come on. So anyway, 2 sentinels is actually a lot less scary than 1 sentinel and other stuff that you need to deal with, because they don't have any mechanics by themselves that you need to interrupt or CC. So they're just like 2 target dummies, and you just avoid stuff on the ground and move out of the way. Pretty straightforward stuff. It's when they're paired up with something that you need to either stun or kick, then you'll start having a problem. So the last 4 kings, you can do them. I think you can do them in whatever order you want. You'll deal with the first 2 on your own by themselves, and then the last 2 it's gonna be together. So it's actually 3 pulls, and most of them have a ability called Ancients, and it just summons the ad that walk towards the boss, and it heals the boss if the little ad, I'll call it Ancestor. So you can see the little ad in the background. He's just walking, and we're just deciding to CC the ads so that we don't have to waste DPS on it, because it's, first of all, it walks pretty slowly, so I can just kite it. And secondly, it's subset. It eats every kind of CC. So I think Demon Hunter Sap, Stun, you can do Root, and Fear, of course, since we have a Warlock. So I'm just kiting it out, and you can see that it walks extremely slowly. Alright, now to King Bjorn. It's the same thing. Wait for the ads to spawn, get a fear on it, and everything else is pretty straightforward. And on the next pack, one of the kings have a thing you need to kick. I don't actually know what it does. I just see the cast bar and I just kick it. Okay, this king has a bleed that he puts on a DPS. I think it was on a Demon Hunter. Alright, so Randolph costs the Ancient. Actually, they both call Ancients. Okay. It was Randolph that has a cast that needs to be interrupted. It's either maybe like a demo shout or some kind. But you can single-handedly deal with that with if you're the tank. Alright, now I'm just kiting around. Ideally, I want to kill one of the kings first. Because they do get into raging. Alright, and I can Storm Bolt. There you go. Pretty good. Keep walking back. And they walk really slowly, so it's okay to kite them out. You just keep moving. And after that, you're officially done with the trash. We'll have 7 minutes remaining, and I think as long as we don't make mistakes, there's more than enough time. Alright, the next boss is God King Skovald. It's actually, I think it's a pretty straightforward fight. He does a frontal charge that you just want to get out of the way and don't stand with the person he's charging to. And then when he casts Ragnarok, you just use your extra button and stay there. And when he uses the shield, just get behind his back and scratch him. Kill ads, dodge swirlies, you know, the usual stuff. It's pretty straightforward. Alright, that's the rush, the frontal charge. And now everybody get in here. I'll just keep DPSing down. Alright, now he's gonna use the thing, the Aegis. And just grab the ads and then cleave them down. Alright, there should be a charge coming up. I actually need to go pick up the thing. There it is. Alright, he might charge again, I think. Oh, that's a tank hit. Alright, now that's the charge is on me. It's a charge, and then it's like a radius of, I think, a couple yards that you need to stay clear of. Alright, and then just rinse and repeat. Alright, that's it. 4 minutes to deal with Odyn. Well, actually it's 3 minutes because the RP takes a long time. And but Odyn is pretty straightforward too. You just dodge the swords and the little lightning balls or holy balls, and then kill the ad. If you when you have a rune on your head, walk to the rune in the room and you get a damage buff, and then rinse and repeat. Should be pretty straightforward. So from these videos, you can tell that I'm still learning all these dungeons, all the nooks and crannies, and the details. There's a lot of mechanics that I'm not familiar with, and I don't know how to take advantage of. So, and that's one of the things that's fun about Mythic Plus. You get to learn new things, new abilities, and come up with, you know, creative strategies to work with these dungeons. And I love it. You know, finding new ways to push the limits on your team and yourself too. And but that's pretty much it. We get the damage amp phase when you when you walk on the rune, the correct one. But you shouldn't have any problem with that. Odyn gets to 80% and he's done, so we're almost there. Come on. There it is. All right, so 13 calls. Pretty good. I think there's a lot of things that I can optimize on, but this is a good starting point. I hope you guys can have fun and, you know, get something out of these videos. I enjoy doing them just to improve my own gameplay. So thanks to you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and check back for some more videos. You know, subscribe, notification, all that shit. See you.